And we are live. Welcome back, everyone. We're doing our first midweek show for a little while because of the international break. We've actually got some games to review, which is good. Bit of an ad hoc show tonight. I haven't done much prep. I will be honest, as it is midweek, and I didn't see the Everton game yesterday. So we haven't got John with us today. John's off to see his dear old mum this evening, but he will be back with us at the weekend. So we sent out a link on our we run a little Facebook group. So we're going to be joined by hopefully joined by a couple of guests as the show progresses. We do have one in the lobby. We're gonna pull in straight away, and we've got James Fever with us. So I'm going to bring him in now.
Hello.
Hello, James.
Hi, James.
Hello, gentlemen.
How's
All
it
good.
going?
Happy hammer on this Monday.
Yeah, indeed. So probably what I'll do, if you want, Gary, do you want to run us through what you saw yesterday? Because you and James are going to be more qualified to talk about this game than me.
Yeah, because you didn't watch the game because you went off in a huff because you were so sure we were going to lose, weren't you? So yeah,
we're a christening.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Right. But anyway, it was the lineup was kind of as we expected. Apart from we assumed that Soufal was going to be injured, and he was, and Johnson came in at right back, and got to be honest, looking at the way the game started, we started off really aggressively. We really got hold of the game early. We took it to them. We were really solid. You had Souček and Rice playing back in their natural positions, with Rice playing deep and Souček playing further forward, which was great.
Even Charlie.
And then where it seemed to break down, because we were having loads of possession and we were going forward, and this all throughout the first half, we were getting to the final third, and the final ball was always missing. So, great defensively, great base at the back, really, really solid. But those three attacking midfielders kind of let us down, together with Antonio a little bit in the first half. What do you think, James?
I agree. I thought first half we come out, we was on the ball, we was at it, we was pressing them back. We done everything other than score in the first half, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We was the much better team. I must admit, I'm a big Ben Rama fan, but I thought he was poor in the first half. He was having shots from here and everywhere, and we looked the better team. But defensively, I was more impressed, especially with Ben Johnson on that right hand side, the pace of him going past people. Him and Bowen worked well together, and I totally agree. He looked good in the first half. Really
he looked brilliant, actually, Johnson, didn't he? I mean, really, really solid. It was so good to see. I think he played against Man United, didn't he, in the League Cup game, and they put him in the or was it in the? No, it was in the league game, wasn't it? Where he played at right back. What was that game recently? It was the league game, wasn't it?
It was, And
they put him in at right back, and he looked really, really comfortable being in his natural position, and he looked exactly the same yesterday. Really liked it, and that the combination of Zuma and the relationship between Zuma and Ogbonna seems to be growing game by game. They look really, really strong, and Zuma just he just gets stuck in where it hurts all the time, doesn't he? But yeah, going back to Ben Rama. I was a bit disillusioned with him, to be honest. I think he gave the ball away a lot. He done one little sort of jiggly run. I think that might have been in the second half, wasn't it? Where he. But other than that, he done a couple of little things. He played Antonio once, and I think that was the net sum of his contribution. I mean, I'm sure he got through a lot of work, like all those, like Fornals and Bowen obviously did.
He did put a good cross in for Souček. After he just inside. Second half, this is. Got a lovely ball into Souček, and he's inches away from hitting his head on it. But I agree, he weren't really on it.
I mean, what I did listen to the commentary, because I was in the car traveling around the M25 for the first half. So they were kind of really complimentary of the way that we were playing on the commentary. They were saying it was all us, playing some really good intricate football. Ben Rama's name was mentioned a lot actually on that commentary, and he was getting. He was getting a lot of credit on that commentary stream in particular. But from what I've seen, because I've watched the extended highlights and I watched Match of the Day too. You don't really get it's rubbish really. So I don't really know how the game unfolded. But when you look at the stats do kind of suggest that was we just played a typical sort of Rafa Benitez style setup team. They've sat a load of players behind the ball. They've played deep. They've gifted us possession. And if that is the case, and they're going to do that. They're a solid team. in an attacking sense, we're not going to find it easy to break them down, are we?
No.
You know what I mean?
They had a couple of dangerous attacks, like dangerous periods of play, like where the ball was coming in. Rondon should have got his head on it. Townsend put a good ball in for a Wobie, and if he connects with that, that's 1-0. Yeah. But Fabianski didn't really have a lot to do. I don't remember Fabianski really having to make a blockbuster save, so to speak. So, Everton were poor, mate. If I'm honest, if you want me to be really honest, I was quite shocked at Everton because, as West Ham fans, we know going up to Everton, we don't win there usually, and it was pretty. I ain't gonna say it's comfortable, but the best team won yesterday,
without a doubt,
by 100%. Yeah.
They had a couple of chances. I mean, what they did focus in on that. Was it second half? First half. Where that Townsend whipped that cross into and Iwobi just completely missed it. It went through his legs. I mean, that was a sitter. That was.
Yeah.
But Iwobi was rubbish. I mean, he was really rubbish. Whether he was just because he was just come back from injury or whatever, but he looked right off the pace. And it wasn't really a surprise when he swung his foot at that and missed it. Thank God he did. I think every other chance that they had, apart from maybe one, I think every other chance that they had was blocked. I mean, they were really good blocks from Ogbonna and Zuma. They really got their bodies in the way. And I was just glad. I mean, the guy that absolutely run the game yesterday was Declan Rice. I mean, outstanding. And back in the position where he obviously feels really comfortable.
Yeah, world class, mate. World class. And this is the thing I've been screaming out for on different YouTube channels and everything. Declan Rice, I know we want him to go forward. I understand it. He wants to go forward. He wants to score goals, etc. Yeah. But as a DM, he's world class in my opinion, and I can't have any other way. Souček, for how good he is going forward, he's not as good as Declan Rice as a DM, and it proved it. Yeah, yesterday. Declan Rice runs the show for us, mate. He gets the ball, he takes it from the defence, he drives with it, he spreads balls out. He's a phenomenal talent, and I agree. Yesterday, it was a 10 out of 10 performance for me.
He was majestic. I mean, at times, some of the things he does, like late on in the game, where he literally slowed the pace of his run down because he knew he was going to get the ball, and he knew exactly what he was going to do with the ball as well. And he sort of just put it around the corner. It was so elegant. The guy, he's got everything. But it was also brilliant to see Souček back to his best as well, because he was biting into tackles. If you go back, rewind to the Brentford game last week, I think Brentford had a bit of a walkover with us because our midfield, you don't walk through our midfield like they walk through it, right? It just doesn't happen. But they got a bit of a let off having Rice and Souček playing the other way around. If they had played the combination that played yesterday, would have been a completely different story. I mean, last week, Souček, or a couple of weeks ago, it looked like Souček was getting a little bit rushed when he was in crowded areas. Yesterday, he was in crowded areas. He was coming out with the ball and he was biting into tackles and stuff like that. He wasn't sloppy. He was right on his game again. I know, Nick, you wrote him off a couple of days ago, didn't you?
Who's that? Souček.
Souček, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I had a great stream on the weekend, didn't I? My God, that's not going to come back and bite me on the bum, is it?
Yeah.
But no. I did. And do you know what? I kind of. I didn't expect Moyes to do what he's done because I did. Obviously, the reason that Rice has been allowed to play a more expansive game this year and get forward is because he wants to. He's obviously had that conversation with Moyes. Moyes wants to keep him, so he's tried to change things up. And I think probably in Moyes' perspective, what he wanted, he's got these two great midfielders. I suppose in an ideal world, what you want is that understanding, that kind of instinctive understanding, where when Rice goes, Souček stays and holds. And then vice versa, but that clearly wasn't working, was it? At the start of the season,
he's just not the same player. He's like it's night and day with the pair of them. Souček's very good going forward, but defensively, and what Gary said is 100% right. When he gets flustered, if he gets flustered as a DM, then the attacking team's on our goal basically, and in front of our defence. With Declan Rice, I don't really see Declan Rice ever get caught in possession of a ball, doing a sloppy pass, really. He might do one bad pass in a game, and that'd be it. Right? But with Souček, for how good he's going forward, he's not as good as Declan Rice as a DM. And it just proved it yesterday. Like, he was a hell of a lot better. Like, do you know what I mean? Going the other way.
But the thing is, what I don't quite understand is because even whether Souček, because he wasn't just sitting, Souček. It weren't like he ain't been getting forward. He's been getting into areas, but his form's been so poor that we identified it in the Brentford game in particular, where Souček with the ball under pressure, he panicked. He looked incapable, didn't he? You know. So for him to all of a sudden, maybe it's a mentality thing as well. Maybe there was a bit of a tug of war going for that position that obviously Souček wants because he wants to score goals. And maybe that kind of, I don't know, maybe it put him on a bit of a downer.
I think what it is with Declan, he's very technical also. For how good he is defensively, he's a technical footballer.
He's a better player out of the two of them, isn't he?
Yeah.
Let's face it.
Oh, God, yeah.
And he's just, when he's got the ball, Declan, you don't feel worried that something's going to go wrong.
No.
For how good Souček is good in the air, as I say, his passing can be hit and miss, and he gets flustered. And like yesterday, like I say, he was arriving late in the box. He was putting his body about. That's the Souček that we all know, like sort of like arriving late in the box from a sort of position. But you can't. I just feel that it's what do? Do you do it for Declan or do you do it for the team in this situation? I think when Declan's a DM, we win games and we play brilliant. When Declan goes forward, there's a massive gap there behind.
Yeah, but based on the result yesterday, everyone's right.
You've got to play to your strengths.
Honestly.
You've got to play to your strengths. I said it the other night. I know it was after a few beers and I was a bit drunk, but I said I didn't want this season to turn into a training course for Declan Rice, to turn him into a box-to-box midfielder.
It's not that, but do you know what it is?
I want to play to our strengths.
But what I've been enjoying from Rice, I know it's been leaving us exposed and we have been conceding goals where we shouldn't have been doing, but I kind of enjoy Declan Rice surging forward. I can't help it. I think he's good at it, and he actually did he do that yesterday as well?
Yeah, he did.
He was still breaking from deep, wasn't he?
Yeah,
I'd rather see him do that. I don't know about you. I'd rather see him do that sort of late in the game when we've got control. You know, I don't want to see him do it early on. You know, again, go back to the Brentford game. You know, that if you look at the first 10, 15 minutes of what happened to us in that Brentford game, all the chances they had, we were wide open and we just can't let that happen. We've got to get control of the game first. And then the second priority is Deck can go forward. When he goes forward, I agree. He looks brilliant. He looks commanding. He looks excellent.
Yeah. No, I agree. So obviously moving into the second half, did you feel like the goal was coming when you was watching it? Did it feel like the goal was coming or did it just feel like it was going to be a 0-0, you know? Never going to score a million years.
I would say it was frustrating, if anything, because our front players just wasn't on it yesterday. As I said earlier, like Antonio, for how good he is, he puts his body about, but sometimes he's like rabbit headlights. Sometimes, Ben Rama and Fornals were hot and cold. I do one thing good, one thing bad, and I must admit, Jared Bowen was trying, and I do feel for him. I really do. I think he's very unlucky at present. Like how he ain't scored more goals than what he's got. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But I'll be lying if I say I thought the goal was coming. I thought we was pressing and we was looking the more likely team to score. But in the grand scheme of things, I think if we don't score that goal, I think it filters out into a 0-0 draw. Really.
Yeah. I think, look, it was our set pieces. It weren't just the goal. Our set pieces improved yesterday. We had Bowen, Fornals, and Cresswell trying to, garrering around, trying to take them either the outswinger or the inswinger. And there was a couple of good corners after that as well. I think someone said that's the reason Dawson got brought on later in the game, because he switched to a back three. Moyes saw that they were a little bit vulnerable to corners. We did have a couple of corners after that. And in corners, Dawson causes chaos. Yeah. So it's just, but going back to what you said about the attacking players, I thought the first half, the pick of all of those three attacking midfielders this season for me is Bowen. He's looked excellent every game. Always works, always tries to make. Nearly had a goal yesterday as well, right? If it weren't for a great save, it was goal.
That was a nice shot as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. And he's always on it, Bowen. He's like a wasp. He annoys defenders. He's always in amongst it. He doesn't just give the ball away. He holds on to the ball. Fornals and Ben Rama are both guilty of giving the ball away really cheaply in advanced areas, and they just set up a counter attack every time. Ben Rama made such a great start to the season. but what's happened? Has he lost his form, or have people kind of, do they know how to play him?
I think what it is with Ben Rama, and I will stick up for Ben Rama because I do like him a lot.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people sort of double up on this man because they know that he can beat a person and open space up. Do you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, he hasn't been on form in the last 2 games, but let's be honest here, apart from Bowen, Antonio and Fornells haven't really been putting up any trees, so to speak. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I do feel for Bowen. I do. I look at Bowen and I think this boy needs to score more goals. But the only problem with us that I do worry about is end product. Like our end product yesterday, we should have easily been 2-0 up in the first half.
Yeah.
We was like, especially in the first 15 minutes, we come out all guns blazing. And
yeah.
if you ever got a chance to watch the first 15 minutes, Nick, go and watch it. We was out, we was on it, we was crossing balls in. It was just end product was the only thing that was missing, like the final piece of the jigsaw.
So
yeah, that's what it was. But Benny, let's be honest, everyone's going to have hot and cold moments in the season. And if he goes and scores the weekend, that's all forgotten about it.
Yeah. Do you know what I did call out before the game, though, James? I mean, maybe you can confirm to me. Which way round did Ben Rama and Fornells play? Was it Fornells left?
Fornells left, mate. And
yeah, see, for me, that's the wrong way round because I think Fornells hasn't got the pace to be a winger.
I agree.
So he should play central because he's more patient with the ball and he's not greedy. He'll give the ball. Whereas Ben Rama, he's a dribbler and he can dribble to his heart's content on the wing and it can take on a fullback. So for me, I do know why he plays Fornells on the left because he likes the additional defensive cover. But I don't think you're getting the best out of those 2 players.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I can't not agree with that. But also, I do look here. I know Cresswell done great for us. I really do. Right? Don't get me wrong. He's been with us quite a long time. But if we had a better left back at the club, I don't think Fornells would be needed on that side. I really don't. And I think you get pace on that side. And if you had, just for argument's sake, I'll use a player for example, is Mel Sarr at Watford. You put him on the left and you put Bowen on the right and you had Ben Rama as a 10 and say an attacker up front. It's a different aspect then. We can break out, we can counter-attack fast. And I must admit, I do agree, Fornells is slow, but his passing ability gets him out of trouble.
Yeah. And also he's tenacious. So if you play him in the middle, he'll get stuck in as well. So he'll track back and he'll throw in some challenges. He'll get booked as he did in this game, didn't he? He put in a bit of a late challenge.
Yeah, he was lucky. He was lucky. If another ref might have sent him off, mate, he was lucky not to get sent off. He got booked for a challenge, and I'll be honest with you, the challenge was. I'll be honest with you, it's a bit soft challenge, right? Really, I think the ref could have let it go and whatnot. Yeah. But the second one, he's just got booked. About 3 minutes later, he's mistimed the tackle right in front of the referee, and another ref might have sent him off. I must admit.
Yeah. Okay. What about the Souček incident? What happened now? Because I've seen that on playback, and that was sinister, wasn't it? From was it Alan?
No, it was Rondon. It was Rondon.
Was it Rondon?
Yeah. If you look at the slow-mo replay, it looks horrible. It looks like he meant it. Now, apparently, Rondon is not that type of character. I can't say whether he is or he ain't, but apparently he's not that type of player. That aside, he looks as guilty as sin, and that should be a retrospective punishment in my book. I mean, he's trod on his face. I mean, I don't know. His leg seemed to land in an unnatural position. It wasn't where he was going to push off from. He actually moved his leg.
It was a kickback.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like.
Yeah.
You know? So it's very odd. But I mean, like you say, though, I think whenever they put anything back into a slow-mo, it's always going to look 100 times worse, isn't it? But looking at his face, though, I'm surprised that the referee didn't take retrospective action sort of after it's seen what had happened, you know?
Yeah, but you didn't stop. Yeah, the referee didn't see it. I suppose he could have asked for a replay. I don't know. But that's
a good point from Freshfielder there. Everyone who gets sent off is always not that kind of player.
I know. It's probably a stupid thing to say, actually, but that's what everyone was saying today. He's a lovely bloke. He wouldn't do that. You know what I mean? So going back to what you said about Cresswell, James, about because we have to put an additional sort of defensive player down the left-hand side because Cresswell doesn't have any pace. I think there's a fair bit of truth in that. I mean, if you rewind to when we were all thinking Cresswell needs replacing because he ain't got any pace. Moyes has not fixed Cresswell; he's fixed the problem. He's kind of he's addressed the symptoms rather than the root cause, hasn't he?
But the only
What
thing
it
is,
is,
when Ben Rama and Cresswell do play on the left, they do play well together. They've got
Yeah.
a good bit. They've got a good bit of interplay, good understanding. Because for all of Cresswell's lack of pace, what he has got is technical ability.
Yeah.
He's got that by
Yeah.
the bucket loads. You know, he really has.
The only thing with Cresswell that I will say is that for how good his technical ability is, his defensive ability is left to be desired, in my opinion. It really is. He's good, but I think he's better in a free. I think when he played last season in a free, they went free at the back with wing backs. I think Cresswell was very, very good. But if he's our left back and he's up against pace, he gets exposed. A game, for example, Arsenal last year, he was up against Pepe and he got absolutely ruined. And like Cresswell's decent, don't get me wrong, and that's why Fornells is there. And I've always said that from minute one. I've said that Fornell's there to cover him. So if Fornells puts the pressure on the attacker, it gives Cresswell time to back up and not be sort of left exposed one-on-one with someone. Do you know what I mean? But technically, I must admit, his crossing this year has been poor for Cresswell. Like, he'd done a couple of good crosses yesterday, I must admit. That's the first time this season I've really seen him do some decent crosses for us.
I think that's the same on the other side as well. I think Kufel's delivery's been poor as well. I think, you know, from both sides, considering that was such a strength of ours last season, we're definitely leaving a lot to be desired this year, aren't we? As far as that's concerned.
Yeah, I think, but what it is with Kufal, one thing I will say about Kufal to sort of defend him in that aspect is defensively he's very good. His awareness is very good. His positioning is very good. The way he sort of marshals the team and shouts and others, and I'm not saying Cresswell don't do that, but it just sort of square pegs and round hole situation with West Ham. When you got Fornells there, if Ben Rama's not on it, you could bring Fornells on or bring Ben Rama on for Fornells and have a faster player on that left hand side. I just think we just lack pace from back to front. That's the only thing.
Yeah. But I think on the whole though, I mean, I think you've got to kind of look at that for what it was. I mean, like I said, I didn't watch that, but Everton have started well this year. They have started well, so it could be the case that I know they had players missing. Don't forget they had Calvert-Lewin, they had Richarlison, and they had Gomez missing, didn't they? But it could be the fact that they're basically just giving us a load of respect and they've sat back because we are a good team. You know.
I think they've got a good manager, a top manager, and Rafa Benitez. You've got to say that they were always going to be organised because it's the system rather than the players. It doesn't really matter who was playing; they're going to play the same system. What they would seem to be doing yesterday, they weren't only defending deep; they were defending very deep. They were defending in their own box. I mean, they were just that is when they were breaking us up. They seemed to be even pretty much letting us have the ball early on, and we were getting right up to their box, and that's where it was all falling apart. So they did two centre halves did a fabulous job in breaking up attacks, but I think a lot of that was really us running out of ideas in the final third, so we were playing like a hopeful ball rather than a ball that was actually meant to do something. It's like in West Ham teams past where we look forward until we look really good until we get to the final third, and then it just goes to shit because we're clearly just making it up. There's nothing been worked out on the training ground. We're just making it up as we go along. That's what it felt like yesterday. It just felt like we weren't going to score in a month of Sundays. So I was so pleased when that set piece went in. Great header from O'Connor as well.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said there, especially about these crosses in. It was like hit and hope, basically, rather than position or placement. Do you know what I mean? I think Everton tried to play on the counter against us. They tried to give us the ball, let us come forward, and try and get Gray and Townsend as the wingers, basically, to sort of get the ball from the defence straight over the top, let them run onto it. I thought Everton were poor.
What about touching on? Because obviously, look, I said a few comments on Sunday on the show. One of them was about Johnson. So focus on Johnson because if there is, I'm always happy to be wrong about when I'm wrong about a West Ham player. Of course, I am. But I must admit, I've not seen an awful lot from Johnson. But that could be, as you said the other day, because he's been played on the left, play him on the right, and you see a different player. So is that what you saw yesterday as well?
100%, mate. Night and day. Listen, he's not a left back. He's a right back. He's a right-footed right back. Yeah. And when you put him in his natural position, you get the best of Ben Johnson. And I do feel for Ben Johnson. I really do. So I think he gets unnecessary stick for being bunged on the left. And when he's up against quality attackers, they will do their own work and go, right, push him onto his left. He can't do nothing. He can't cross with his left. He can pass with his left, but it's weak. And
he is a 2-footed player to a degree, isn't he?
But he's more favourable when he's right. And what it is, I'll tell you the reason why I say that. When he's on the left-hand side, he has to cut inside to cross because he's right, because he's his right foot.
Yeah.
So it's one of them ones. And I thought he was excellent yesterday. Right, I'll give him a rating of 9 out of 10 on my thing. I thought he was absolutely superb. I thought his pace. His first game in obviously coming in, it's a big game for us. We've just lost against Brentford, and he was up for it, and he was very, very good, very good.
Yeah.
No, he really was, and I think we need to get him a new contract very, very soon. He's out. He's expired at the end of the season. Yeah. And there'll be plenty of takers for him if he keeps playing. And he's going to get a couple of games because Soufal is still injured. And he looks like a really, really good player. It's just such a shame that he is so versatile, and he will be played in other positions. So he doesn't say anything. Put him in the left back, put him as a centre half, wherever you want to put him, he'll play. But it's a bit unfair it is very unfair to judge him when he's playing out of his natural position. And I thought he was brilliant. The last time I saw him play there. There was a stat I was listening to at Sam Delaney podcast today, and there was a stat Rashane came out with. He said, "We've never lost a game when Ben Johnson has started in his natural right back position."
Yeah. To be fair, that's only been 2 games.
2 games. I don't know how many games it is.
Yeah. But that's a great podcast, by the way. Sam Delaney's podcast. But okay. Well, I think we've done that to death, haven't we, Everton? That was
great win.
Great win. Really happy with that. Wasn't expecting it. Called a Desmond before the game. What did you call, James?
I called a draw, mate. 1-1 as well. I thought it'd be tight.
I called a 2-2.
Yeah, I went 1-1.
So we was all expecting a bit of a tight affair. Look, at the end of the day, I know we outplayed them, but I think when both teams are at full force, we're evenly matched, aren't we?
Yeah.
They're two evenly matched teams,
The better team won yesterday. Even they would admit that. We was very, very good, but we just wasn't good in the attacking third. Basically, it was very wasteful. And we got the job done with Bonner. And I must admit, I just want to say this quickly. 100%. With Bonner, he got a lot of stick. And I'll be the first one to give him stick, especially after the Brentford game. But I must admit, him and Zuma yesterday was very, very good. Very good.
Yeah, well, I've got full faith in Ogbonna. I've been keen to see Diop come in because I didn't think that the partnership between Zuma and Ogbonna was flourishing. And when you look to the future is you'd like to think Diop and Zuma. But that wasn't because it's not because I think there's anything wrong with it. I still think now, even with Zuma, when Ogbonna's on his game, is our best defender, is our best centre back, is our classiest centre back, and he's Italian, so he could go on for another 5 years. I know he's 33, but they do seem to.
I think by the end of the season, if Zuma keeps going the way he's going, he could end up a crowd favourite at the end of the year.
I like it.
He really goes in where it hurts, and a couple of times yesterday. One guy came down. I had sharp intake of breath because he came down with his full body weight on the back of his legs, and he looked hurt. He looked hurt. Yeah. But again, he just gets up, brushes himself down, and carries on. He don't care. Yeah. He's got everything. The guy. He's got everything.
Before we move on, I should have done it at the start of the show because I'm very disjointed, but I did throw him up. But we've got Charlie Walsh saying evening, gents. He particularly likes your microphone. Gary?
Yeah, well, it ain't a new microphone. It's just that no one could hear me the other day, and it was like 1.5 foot away.
There's another one. Hey, Fresh. And another one here from Freshfielder. Good evening, Freshfielder. It's very strange, isn't it, with these avatar names that they've got on YouTube?
Yeah.
Anonymous. These anonymous names.
Yeah.
They're all good blokes, though, I must admit. They all know their West Ham stuff, I must admit. I will say that.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, let's move on to Thursday night. Genk. I'm not going to pretend that I know too much about them, to be quite honest. They play in Belgium. I don't know where they are in the league. Again, I haven't done much research this week. All I do know is, from what I've seen so far. I've seen a couple of little clips about him. I am lying, really. I think I think we should move past them quite easily, like we did with Austria Vienna. I don't think they're going to be the same type of test. Well, not that. Zagreb weren't a test because we were so bloody good when we went there, but they were the strongest team other than us in the group. So we should be getting a result against Genk, especially at home. If we do, that's 9 points. You've got to think we're qualified then.
Yeah.
The only thing with that is the question is. It's very important to me personally that we progress in this competition, and I think that we obviously you want to win the group because you don't want to fall into that trap of having to play a team falling out the Champions League to move through to the next stage. So we don't want that. So winning the group is got to be really. We've got to take advantage of a good group that we're in. I think we've been quite lucky, to be quite honest. But that said, we've got 2 wins. We've got Tottenham 3 days after the Genk game. The most important of these 2 games for me, because of my irrational hatred of Spurs, is that we get something against Spurs. Therefore, what are you thinking? Shall I throw? Should we run through a quick lineup predictor? Should we do that?
Just a few things on Genk to start with. Right, they're 6th in their Belgian league. They've lost 3 out of the last 5.
Sean, that's better.
They've lost. Yeah. They've lost 3 out of the last 5. 6th in the league. Not a side in good form at all. Croatia, Zagreb came on strong in the last game in Europe, didn't they? So they're right behind us now. So they're playing away to Vienna before us tomorrow on Thursday. They start at 5:45 on Thursday. So we'll know the result of that going in. So if Vienna get a draw or maybe even a win. Can't see it myself. Vienna look. But if they do, it's a home game. Anything can happen. If they get a draw and we go on and beat Genk, then it's ours to lose, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. But again, even so, I still wouldn't want to be putting a full strength team out because we've got enough to even. Look, I don't want to be too blasé, but the fact of the matter is, even our B team that played Manchester United should beat Genk.
We can't take that risk. We've got to win this game. We've got to put it to bed. I reckon we should. I mean, I don't know what you 2 think, but I reckon he got it bang on with the last selection against Vienna, where he played 2 or 3 from the regular first team and the rest of the B team, and that was just about enough. I mean, it does mean Rice gets another game. It means probably Antonio gets a game. I don't know whether we do that or not with Spurs coming up on Sunday. That's a big one. Antonio, I'm talking about. And also Benrahma last time. Going back to Benrahma, just quickly, when he played against Brentford, that was off of the back of him playing on Thursday in Europe, and he looked knackered. And he's just travelled internationally and he's come back. So maybe it's just that he can't play so many games in succession. So whether Benrahma should play this Thursday as well, I don't know. I'll probably give him a rest.
Yeah. Again, it could be that as well. There has been international travel because I think Benrahma's been really good this year. I think he has. I think Fornals was good at the start as well. Again, I'm not losing faith in any of these players. I think they're all top-notch players. We won't get into Vlasic, James.
Well, yeah, you ain't put him up yet.
I know. But look, anyway, let's start with the keeper anyway. So let's we'll do a vote. We'll do a vote for the what do you reckon, James?
It's Areola for me, mate.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Let's go left back.
The problem is with this is we've only got one. That's the only thing, and so it's going. The only thing I will say, Cresswell had 2 weeks off. He had an international break. He didn't play. He didn't travel nowhere. So for me, I'd play Cresswell in this one.
Is Arthur not fit yet?
Arthur's fit, but it's one of them ones. He can't play him as a left back. He can play him as a left wing back. But
you want to play him as a left back against Genk?
No.
But then if it's like anything, he's not a left back though, is he? It's like
no. I know.
I mean, so I'd play Cresswell myself personally.
Me too.
That's fine. Right. Is Johnson holding his? He should be all right in terms of fitness, shouldn't he?
Every day of the week.
Right. So he stays in there. What about well, I suppose if Soufal and Fredericks are still kind of regaining fitness, and you would just leave them until they're fully recovered now, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Pair of them. There's no reason to rush him back, is there? If he's doing a job, if Johnson's doing a job, give him a little run.
Yeah. He deserves it and all.
Is the centre backs? What do you reckon? Is that going to be Diop and Dawson?
Yeah, 100%.
So are we? Okay, no, that's fine. Yeah, he's got to do that, isn't he? Really?
Yeah.
You know. Okay. Right. The big one, really, central midfield. We'll base it on the same shape because there's no point in changing the shape.
Basically, there's no Alex Crowell because he's out with COVID and he won't be fit for this game. I don't think he'll play Souček in this game because of the injury. Maybe it's a bit too soon, isn't it? Let's be honest. He's got. So he's. I can't see anyone else other than Rice playing himself.
I think Rice and Lanzini will play in the middle.
Yeah, I agree.
It'd be Noble, wouldn't it?
No,
Noble's not fit.
Got a bit of a hip injury.
He's got an injury.
A bit of a hip injury, yeah. Slight hip.
Okay, so we're going for Declan Rice. Yeah, but he can play every bloody week, can't he? Every day, him. And we're going to go for who do we say?
Lanzini, mate.
Yeah, I mean,
what you've also got to remember, there's a 5-sub rule in the Europa League. So, for example, if we come out all guns blazing, get a couple of goals up, and then just do a professional job and see it out, we can sub half them players off. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, good point.
Right, let's go. Who's going to sit in the hole? Who's going to be the number 10?
It's got to be Vlasic, mate. He's the only because he wants to play that as that number 10. He don't want to play in the wing, so it's got to be him.
Is that right? Is that where he wants to play?
Yeah, that's where he wants to play, mate. He's been what it is.
It's not where he plays for Croatia, though, is it? They play him out wide.
They play him out on wide, but I don't think you get the best of him like there. And what it was when he was at Everton, the reason why it didn't work out at Everton because he kept going on the wings, and he wants to play as like the number 10 basically. So
I mean my theory with Vlasic, I don't know if you heard the other night, James, and that is it. I will hold my hands up and I will agree with you in the sense that he hasn't shown anything so far. But the reason I think that is because I think when Moyes brings in attackers, I think he did it with I think Ben Rama was just a naughty boy last year. Whenever he brought Ben Rama on, I think he gives him strict instructions on what to do. And that's why he was getting frustrated with him. And Ben Rama's like, no, I'm going to go and do me tricks. I'm going to go on a run. I'm going to try and I'm going to prove myself that way. I think that Bowen's done it. Fornals has done it. Whenever Moyes has first gotten hold of someone, they don't necessarily look great straight away. And I think he likes to get them to focus on the defensive aspects of their game before he'll take shackles off. I think that's all it is. And I think it might be that. It might be that. I'm hoping it's that.
Yeah. The only thing with Vlasic that I've got the big issue is £33.5 million really money well spent. Now, let's be honest, we've got one left back at the club who can defend and one striker. And that is the $1 million thing that really sort of grates into me a little bit. And I'm looking at him, and it's nothing against the lad. I hope he comes good. I hope he turns up on Thursday and bags an hat-trick.
But the thing is, if he kicks on, and either Bowen or Ben Rama get a bad injury, it will be good money well spent.
It will be, but it's how can I put this? He needs to perform now, not 6 months down the road. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Because if that happens, we need him straight away. Because as I've said on numerous platforms, I've said who we're going to put in, like Yarmolenko. I say, do you know what I mean? So he's got to come in. He's got to be ready to go, basically. And
I reckon Yarmo will play on Thursday night. I think he'll play.
Yeah, I agree.
He go on the right, won't he?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the matter with you? Oh, you got Yarmolenko?
Yeah.
I thought he was missing.
No.
So who are we going to play on the left? This is a choice of three. Really. No, you could even play Masuaku on the left, right?
That's what I was thinking, mate.
Absolutely. That's a good shout. Thing is, he does give you pace going forwards.
Yeah, he's a good left winger.
You know? And I think him and Crespo will link up well. You know?
Yeah, and he doesn't know what he's going to do next. So how the fuck the defender's supposed to know?
Right. So what are we doing up front then? I mean, I'm not playing Antonio in this game.
If it was me, I'd play Bowen up there, mate. I think this is a perfect game for him to score a goal in. And if he can get a goal, then he might start because he's got the confidence, but he's just not getting the final thing. Yeah.
I'll tell you what. If it wasn't Spurs on Sunday, I would put Antonio in for this one. But with Spurs in mind, I would definitely play Bowen up there. I agree.
Look, I'd have Antonio on the bench just in case. But,
yeah.
But I think Bowen, as you know, he's when he has played centre forward. I mean, he looks okay. He's looked fine, and that's against top opposition as well. So again, I don't want to sort of be too arrogant. I don't want to discount who we're playing. I know that they're gonna have a threat about them as well. I'm not going to try and pronounce the guy's name, but you mentioned him earlier, James, when we was off air.
Paul Oniechu.
Paul Oniechu, so a striker that we've been long linked with. That we've been long linked with. He's playing for him, and he's a big old lump. So the centre backs. Mind you, having said that, we've got big beastie centre backs there that can probably handle any physical battle. I would have thought. You know.
And when you look at that team, if you was to make subs, really the only 3 subs you would probably take off is Bowen, Rice, and probably Cresswell. So in a way, it sort of helps us in a way that if we can give these lads, say, 60 minutes, get the job done, even if we can get the job done at half time, right? Just get a couple of goals in front and then just see it out. Because as I've sort of always said, it's not about the group stages. Like it's just get the job done in the group. It's about the last 16. So
I'd say when you look at it like this, though, and you're saying at the moment you've got Mr. COVID over here, you got the old man's popped his hip out of place over there. You've got you got Soufal, who's he got kneed in the bollocks by Matic and he still ain't recovered, and you got Fredericks there, who's I don't know what's wrong with him. He rolled his ankle, didn't he? In that Man United game. Yeah. So when you look at this scenario here, and I don't think we've necessarily been that unlucky with injuries this year. So take those 4 out of the equation. We ain't got a big squad, have we? You know, we ain't got many options.
What it is with that squad, I don't know if ever you noticed, there's a lot of defensive players on that squad, and there's no attackers. Apart, if you swap it around and you had the full strength team, you say Vlasic and Yarmolenko. Now Yarmolenko's not all that, and Vlasic is obviously new to the league, or new to the club, so to speak. So really, we haven't got a lot up top, and we're relying on our front four to perform week in, week out, which is it's hard.
When you look at it like that, we've got 2. We're fine at centre back. We're laughing at centre back, but you know, you got one central midfielder, and there's not much. You know, if we were, heaven forbid, to go on one of our usual old style West Ham runs of where we just start losing players and they start dropping like flies, we would be in trouble. We would be in trouble.
I think, any team would be in trouble as well, though, if they have mass injuries. You just got to hope you stay away from them. And at the moment, we do seem to be quite fit. I think it's surprised us all that Antonio's got 8 games in and he ain't got an injury already. I know. But he seems to be looking after himself and he seems to be really taking care of that injury. He's not going on those pointless lung-busting runs anymore. He's being really controlled. So long may it last. And hopefully we can get through to January when no doubt we'll find another striker to come in or another attacking player to come in. And we'll have a few more options up top. But this is all about, like James says, about getting through, winning enough group games to win the group. And frankly, I hope the final 2 group games are just dead rubbers, right? Where we can just play a bunch of kids.
Exactly.
Don't worry about the result, but we do want to win the group.
But I'm not saying that I want to sacrifice Genk. I just don't think that we necessarily have to play our full strength team, which is what we've agreed on here anyway. You know, it's still a strong team. But going through a few comments anyway. It's from Sean. Yeah. I'm with Gary on this one. Go for it. Keep the momentum going. A disappointing result would be a knock. James made a good point elsewhere that the 5 subs allowed will help game management, which you know I agree with. Of course it will. We can roll players on and off as we need to. Rice and Fornals in the middle. That's a good shout as well. You know, I agree with that. I think that's a good one. I think Fornals does. I
think what would happen with there though, the only thing I say about that, and I agree with that, is I think Fornals will come on for Rice. Yeah, I think the game will be done. Say for example, like if it's 15 minutes to go, Fornals will come on and sit there with Lanzini. He won't be a strong midfield, but he'll be good enough to do the job, basically.
Yeah. Sean goes on. Vlasic keeps getting misquoted from his time at Everton. He said he was stuck out on the wing there and preferred the number 10 role. He never said that he didn't want to play on the wing.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, that's that. I mean, that makes sense. I can't imagine that David Moyes has come in for him and he's gone, I ain't going to play anywhere apart from Cam. You know, he's if you don't give me the number 10, I'm not going to come. He's obviously he came across as really, really keen because Moyes, you know, in the there we go. That team could do a decent job. I agree. I think
it's a good team. I think it's a really good team. I like it. And agreed. Put a few kids on the bench. You know, let's put them to bed. Let's go. You know, 2-0 up. That's got the look of a very solid, dogged determined team with a little bit of flair up front with Masuaku. Hopefully Vlasic comes good. Yarmolenko will do well in European games as well. Pace suits him, doesn't it? You know, when you look at the couple of teams we played already, I mean, against Vienna a couple of weeks ago, did he start Yarmolenko in that game?
Yeah, I'm sure he did.
Did he? Yeah. And you know, that's right. And he didn't look out of place. He was.
I think that was the game. I think he ran more in that game than we've seen him run.
Yeah. That's where he played the brilliant ball, wasn't it?
That's it. Yeah, for the goal, it was a brilliant goal, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I know he didn't do an awful lot more in terms of. Well, it wasn't a good game, was it? It wasn't a very, very good game. It weren't a. No. Even though we should have been a few goals up in that first half. I don't think he. If he runs and he tries, then people will give him a break. You know, I think half the battle is I think people look at him because he's got a bit of a lazy demeanour, and I think people get a bit frustrated. But you know,
I think what it is when people see him go to Ukraine banging goals, and when he's with us, he just does nothing. It's like Space Jam. He gets hold of the ball when all his powers go, and he comes to us. You know what I mean? And that's all we are. But listen, if he's trying his art out and he's trying for the team, I must admit, I will give him one bit of credit. When he played in the League Cup game, he did play well against Man United. I thought he played all right. And at the end of the day, if he's a trier, then we'll support him. But sometimes it's like 100 step overs and you pass it sideways or back. So
I think it's the intensity of the Premier League that he can't get his head around. No, I think if it's any other competition, he's he looks all right. You know, he looks pretty.
He's perfect for the Europa League. He's a perfect player to bring on.
Yeah. I think it's the intensity of the team though as well. I think the way that we play, we demand that the players play in a certain way. I don't think we've got any room for any show ponies. We haven't got. I mean, the thing is, I would say the only player that Moyes accommodated was probably Lingard when he came in. But the only reason he did that was because Lingard is Lingard, and he can positively affect the game. You're not going to ask Lingard to track back, are you? What are you going to do that for? You know, he's so good going forward.
Right.
But there we go.
So
he'll always be a hero in my book for that shove on Bale last year.
Of course. Yeah, well said.
Yeah.
And also the goal he scored against Chelsea. Go back 18 months ago.
That goal was important for us.
That was worth his transfer fee alone. That goal, wasn't it? It kept us up pretty much, didn't it?
It did, yeah.
It did. All right. Well, look, we did say we was going to try and keep this this one short, didn't we? So I think we've done that. What we'll do is we'll give our predictions on the Genk result. We'll let James give his little channel a plug, and then we'll you can wrap up, Gal. So go on. What do you reckon? What's your prediction?
Me.
Yeah,
I'd say 3-0.
3-0. James?
I'm going to say 2-0. I think that we will score the goals early and shut the game down and basically see the game out, basically. 2-0 for me. It'd be the third 2-0 of the Europa League. And, I believe it'd be 2-0, mate.
Yeah, I'm going 5-0. Oh, no, and someone else has gone there as well. Here we go, look. 5-0 Vlasic hat-trick. But, I'm going 5-0. I think if we start scoring, I think we're going to have we've got some second string players there that are going to be up for it.
It would be lovely to see Vlasic get off the mark, wouldn't it? I mean,
of course it would. We need him to be good.
Wouldn't it be good?
What it is, he needs to. I want to see something from Vlasic. That's the only thing I will say. But I know me and Nick have had some backwards and forwards on the Vlasic debate. But the way I look at it with this is, he's a very important player to us because he is our backup off the bench at the minute.
He is,
And if we don't start scoring goals, and he needs to be an alternative. Like if Bowen, Benrahma, Fornells, and Antonio are not on it, they don't deserve to be still on the pitch when there's a bloke there who should be on the pitch. If that makes sense. So it's important. I'd love him to score an hat-trick on Thursday. I really would. I want him to do well, but it's just he needs to do it. We need to start seeing something for the money that we're paid. That's the only thing I will say.
Absolutely. All right, well let's wrap that up. Cheers for joining us, James. Thanks very much. Go on, let you take it away. Give your channel a plug.
No worries, mate. You can find me on E20 Zone TV. I started it about 6 weeks ago. I do predictions. I have people on from all walks of life with West Ham and different clubs. And go over there, check it out, give it a subscribe. Goes a long way. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Brilliant
And
stuff.
also, don't forget to subscribe to us as well while you're at it, because I forgot to say that at the start of the video. I'm rubbish at all this. But go on, Gal.
All right, brilliant. So thanks for joining us, James. Also, thanks to you, Nick. If you've not done it, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit the like button, and if you like what we do, please share it with your friends. And don't forget to leave us a comment or two. Next week, next Saturday, I think we're back, right, Nick? Booze up on Saturday with a few beers. Hopefully not as many as this week, ahead of the mighty Spurs game, our cup final on Sunday. So
and we have got Charlie Walsh. You may as well announce it now as well. Charlie Walsh is joining us on Saturday.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant. That'd be brilliant. So until then, thanks for watching and see you next time. Come on, your hands.
Come on, you ones.